Namaste. It's the Spiritual Daywalker with your tarot card reading for this full moon phase. And this full moon is going to be in Aries. So, Virgo, it's going to make you realize something about yourself and bring that forward, put that out there, right? Stand up for yourself in a sense. It is conjunct Chiron, so it deals with wounds we've been carrying around for a long time. Also, like there's, I believe, Libra conjunct the sun in the opposite, right? So it has to do with other people's emotions as well and how we've been dealing with them. For you, I get a strong sense that you've been coming from a confrontation with what you actually want, and now you're integrating that into your perception of yourself and how you actually are, so dialing back a little from that strong ambition that you had, trying to integrate it. And it's like, yeah, but what do I need for this to happen, actually, for me to flourish, right? I don't want to like change into something I'm not. I want to change into something that is closer to my being, right? For example, like maybe perfectionism is not getting me anywhere, but I love doing shit right and thinking about how to set it up perfectly, right? And all that stuff. Like giving it a different connotation. That being said, it is a general reading, so if the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If it does resonate with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe, and share to whoever might enjoy this reading style. We're going to do the DNA spread, that is the soul coming into manifestation and the energies balancing around that. A little like a tree of life, but numerology fits a little better because I did it. So let's see. In the spot of the zero, Keter, the spot of your soul, there's the Eight of Swords. That is your soul deciding to be unraveled, right? So the Eight of Swords can be a card for caging yourselves in with mindsets you're holding on to, or being overwhelmed by different opinions where you're like, no, 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 I'm doing this my way, right? And there are no negative connotations in the soul spot. The soul always knows, right? So that's why if the soul decided it's time for an Eight of Swords, that means stick to what you believe in. You got a pretty solid foundation in your mind in terms of how you argument and how you view reality, the wisdom and knowledge you've got, right? Stick to that. If you're growing past adversity here. That is a very beautiful energy. Like an Eight of Swords is a good card to have in the soul spot, not anywhere else, because that's a clear sign for stick to the arguments you believe in. Don't be led astray by other people's opinions because they're most likely shit. Or if they're not shit, they're not meant for you. Not in this particular experience that you're manifesting here, right? So don't be led astray. We'll see what the rest of the energies are, like how you're manifesting this in the spot of the nine. The topic that all of this is revolving around your challenge, or like, yeah, the theme of this entire experience is the Four of Swords. Again, Eight of Swords, Four of Swords, similar energy. Like the Eight of Swords in the soul spot has kind of the energy as the Four of Swords usually has, right? Which is pulling through, hanging in there, holding on to ideas even though there is adversity, right? And being rewarded for it, right? So you're going with, well, your intuition here. Well, maybe intuition, yeah. It's not even intuition, it is conviction, your convictions, right? The way you want to see the world and you see the world, and like that is actually very benefiting, right? It's like, no, I made up my mind, I'm going there, and I'm pulling through it, whatever you say, whatever there is, whatever test the universe is going to give me, I'm holding on to what I believe because it benefits me. It's a good way, right? um well, it can be, of course, it can be a little like stuck, but since that Eight of Swords is in your soul spot where your soul, like, if any time, now it's time to be stuck in your ways because it's good ways, stick to them. So that is a good thing. See how you manifest that in the spot of the 10 in your manifestation. There's a Mother of Swords. That's that's funny. Um, because it's all sorts. You're so in your mind, but you seem to be very determined on what to believe. And then there's that Mother of Swords, which is sort of a similar energy again. It is that energy of hanging in there. Since it's in manifestation, it could be one of those swords, one of those arguments you find yourself in with someone who thinks they're really smart. And maybe they are. That doesn't mean that whatever they believe in actually has to benefit you. So it's both. It's you trying to hang in there and hold tight on what you believe in, and it's them trying to be smart and like hold on tight to what they believe in. Okay, right? It doesn't have to match exactly, but this energy, this Mother of Swords kind of energy, that is wisdom also. Like that is like it's not exactly, it doesn't have to be a confrontation, you know. You don't have to engage in this. You can be that Mother of Swords is like, you know what? I know better. I don't have to fight you over this. What gives, right? I got my reasons. You got your reasons. Fair enough. Yeah. So it's not exactly about conflict per se. We'll see. Maybe there's some conflict in there. It's prone to have some conflict in here because your soul is getting ready for that conflict, basically, right? It's like whatever they say, I'm gonna stick to my plan, to the way I'm thinking, what I believe in, right? So it's gonna probably gonna be some conflict in here, but you don't exactly have to see it like that. You can just like stick to your ways, pull through that. There's light at the end of the tunnel, right? So it's all gonna be fine. Manifesting your Mother of Swords after this. They 8, 4, 1. Okay, fuck me harder. Let's see. In the spot of the one, the thing that is getting you going, right, to incorporate that Eight of Swords energy, that like the thing that's getting you moving, giving you the impulse, is the Seven of Wands. It's a strong conviction about what you're passionate for, right? And fighting for your ideas. You're preparing for a fight. You're preparing for, you know what? Maybe you're even anticipating that. Maybe you're moving into a phase where you realize there's gonna be confrontation. You already feel that conflict before it arose, right? And you're already prepping yourself with that Seven of Wands. Like, okay, yeah, something triggered that Seven of Wands, but it's the energy that is coming up within you that's getting you moving, where you're like, you know what, there's some things I don't compromise about myself, about what I find is the right thing to do, what I think is the right way to live, at least for me, whatever the fuck you do, you know. But this is this kind of energy, like this is all in the mind. This is all sword energy, air energy, right? So it's all very sticking to your arguments. This one, what gets you going, is passion. That's fire energy. That is the Aries full moon taking over, where you're like, you know what? Maybe I am like this and that, but whatever. I love being like that. You know, that kind of energy. Now, what's taken a little away from that or balancing it out on the other side, and the spot of the two, what is receiving that energy, is the Fool in reverse, which is interesting. I mean, like, like you're on the verge of a new beginning here, but it seems like you have to pull through this experience to get to that new beginning, right? And you're eager to get there, but you feel like you have to fight your way through, right? There's a light on the end of the tunnel, and it's marking a new beginning for you, but a new beginning has to meet these criteria here, right? Or not fuck with that, in a sense, right? You're very passionate about that new beginning, and um, you know how you want it to be because your mind's made up here. Like, you're going into this experience with a made up mind, where you're like, you know what, we don't have to agree. I got my ways, like whatever the fuck ever. right? Um, Still no conflict. Still you're still anticipating that conflict, looking for a new beginning, and kind of knowing it's not going to happen from the energy you're in right now. You first have to go through this. So you're in that Four Swords, right? You know, it's about hanging in there, fighting through the adversity, or just like not even fighting, just even like, yeah, just being sure that it's going to pass. This too shall pass. I don't have to give in to shit, you know. I just have to be wise and not engaged and like work around it, whatever. It's going to be hard with that Seven of Wands because there's a lot of passion in there, and that passion wants to be expressed. Like if you're in an argument and someone wants to be right even though they're wrong, that argument might mean nothing to you. But the fact that they are wrong and they're still trying to be right, that's going to fucking grind your gears. So it's going to be tough to keep a cool head when your mind's made up like that and you're anticipating confrontation. Is going to be very interesting how you manifest this. First, in the spot of three, what you're realizing about wanting that new beginning and wanting to fight for what you believe in and what you're passionate about, the insight you get from those energies mixing is the hangman. And it's the hangman in reverse. So, well, you got to move, right? You got to move out of this. You're not you're not a bystander. This could be the start for that conflict where you're like, you know what? If I want that new beginning, I got to move for that new beginning, and I got to trust that what I believe in is the right way, right? So that hangman is also trusting in yourself, believing in your own ability, and it is in line with those swords, right? So it's funny because it's like coming out of stagnation, but the rest of the energy is all quite stagnant. Like it's really it's preparing for a fight. Like, okay, I'm ready to go, ready when you are, right? Hmm. I don't want to get stuck into like in a narrative here too much, but that is very interesting that you have the hangman in reverse as an insight when the the rest of your experience kind of screams defense, right? Very interesting. Let's see, in your challenge row, in the spot of the four, the thing that, like the idea that gives you stability, where you feel home in a sense. The Six of Cups in reverse, well, what does it mean that it's in reverse? A little delayed. Um, well, it doesn't feel like it used to, does it? Right? And you know from past experiences also what you want to feel, what you don't want to feel. Like, yeah, well, it makes total sense. I mean, like you're fortifying your mindset, you're building a fortress in your mind, and of course that comes from experience. Of course that comes from the Six of Cups, right? So that's the card for nostalgia, for looking back or feeling back into the memories, right? And it seems like you're looking back over your shoulder. Sorry, I couldn't help it, but you're very much looking over your shoulder here. It's like, when is it gonna happen? When do I have to fight for my ideas? When do I have to stand up for like what I believe in and what I'm not gonna take anymore? This Six of Cups here is what you're not gonna take anymore. You're looking back, it's like it's not gonna be like this ever again. You know? It's like not exactly the most enjoyable kind of energy, but the way that you're showing it to me, where you're like so strong about it, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel negative too much. It feels like you're ready for a fight. You're ready to defend whatever it is you don't want to experience again, or whatever it is you need from the experience to be able to open up to it. The thing that's causing friction in the spot of the five That's a 10 of Wands in reverse. Mm, yeah, well, someone's pulling your strings, huh? Right? So the thing that causing friction is struggling with taking on too much. And yeah, like you've been overextending yourself. It very much seems like you're fortifying your mind, you're building your defenses because you feel like you've been taken advantage of in the past and you're not going to be taken advantage of anymore. You still are doing the right thing because it's just the right thing to do, and your mind's made up that way. You are a wise and yeah, and a righteous person, um, but with that Six of Cups in reverse and that Ten of Cups in reverse, surrounding that Four of Swords, it feels like you feel like you've been or still are prone to be taken advantage of, and you don't want this anymore. You want to, like, you still want to be a good person, but you have to be careful to not overextend yourself for people that, yeah, are not exactly grateful for it or just like too stupid to handle their shit themselves. Um, Fair enough. Um, Very interesting. Let's see how you're manifesting this in this reality. In the spot of the seven, the thing that, like, the idea that gives you a strong sense of self, what you may be attached to. It's the Ten of Pentacles. That is that's good energy to be attached to. I mean, that's a complete fulfillment in terms of family, wealth, happiness, all very tangibly manifested in this reality. That's earth energy, right? I mean, like, you are mutable earth. You are, that's funny that you're mutable, of course, right? Because what I see here is not mutable at all. It's very fixed, right? Very interesting, but it's you standing up for who you are, right? So it makes sense that for a mutable earth getting an inflow of Aries full moon energy, it's like building that defenses, right? Building those defenses up high. It's like, no, this is what I believe in. This is like, I'm not mutable now. No, like, I made up my mind. This is who I want to be, what I want to be, and I will go up to this point, but not beyond. Just because it's the right thing to do, but blah, you know? And having a sense of identity around Ten of Pentacles is like, I know what I want, or get a strong family sense here, right? So this means basically putting family and allegiance above everything, right? Like, this is not so much about wealth, it's more about legacy, it's more about honorability, right? It's about honor, in a sense, even more than like a Leo card. What is that? Strength, right? um it's not so much about pride, it's about honor, right? I really get a strong sense like you're an honorable person, and you're not gonna compromise that, and but you're not gonna be taken advantage of either. And that's a thin line right there, right? Because if you're an honorable person, it's easy to be taken advantage of when people don't have their shit together, right? And you feel like you have to help them, right? It's like that situation, like, do I give a beggar my money or not, right? Does it save their situation? Not really. Not really, right? So is it honorable to do so? Well, it's well intentioned. If you give the beggar your money, are you actually solving the problem? Not really. Do you have money to give? That's the next question, right? It's like, so I don't want to write it out on the back of the baggers here. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, this is the conflict that you are in and in a small way, in that situation where you're like, yeah, I could give, but is it my obligation to give? Is it actually helping? What's the honorable thing to do here, right? So that's the fine line you are kind of working around here. You're internally preparing for that conflict already, and you've probably been in that conflict for some time. And now it's like, well, it's time to move towards a new beginning. But for that, that's very interesting. Let's see what you're further manifesting in the spot of the 8. The thing that is giving you abundance even more than your honorability is moving out of that discontentment. um there's a rat on there. It's not exactly the card for betrayal, right? But it's like a spoiled soup, you know. um, like it is nourishment, but it's making you sick in a sense. That is like the 4 of Cups is when water is stale, right? Water is not in flow, it's stable. 4, right? Stability, tranquility. And tranquility is a good thing, but if water is not moving, um, it can spoil. It can be stale. And that's why this four of Cups is often a card for discontentment. And it's like, yeah, it's quiet, too quiet, you know. Um, and you're kind of feeling that. So the thing that gives you abundance is getting out of this 4 of Cups. And I do kind of get the sense that it's not your discontentment. It's more enough with the bullshit, right? Like for you, it is not putting up with being discontent, not putting up with not being happy in something. You're not pushing through something, pulling through something, um, if you don't know what you're fighting for, right? In this scenario, you know very well what you're fighting for. You're fighting for this. You're fighting for your sense of self, for your honor, right? And then on the other hand, you know you have to stop with the bullshit of other people, right? Like that discontentment is not worth it, right? If all they're giving off is a 4 of Cups, make you feel a 4 of Cups, you're not having it anymore, right? You're not fighting for a 4 of Cups. No, you're fighting for a 10 of Pentacles. That's what you're fighting for. And that's why this 4 of Cups in the spot of the 8 is in reverse, because you decided not to put up with anymore with it and move away from that. So moving away from that is going to open you up to the abundance. Probably that new beginning right here. Let's see. In the spot of the 6, that's the thing that you're realizing about the situation, and that is going to uplift your experience, like the epiphany that's making you feel good. This is a 5 of Cups. For real, for real. The epiphany that's making you feel good. Yeah, well, it's a 5 of Cups. Funny. It's really funny. I mean, like, doing something you don't enjoy with the full conviction that it's the right thing to do. It's an honorable thing to do, right? And coming out of the 4 of Cups into the 5 of Cups, where you realize, I gotta pull through this. It doesn't feel good. It's not supposed to feel good, but that's why I have to pull through it. Like, that's the challenge. The honorable way is to endure this pain and go through with this, even though you already feel kind of shitty about it, right? You're preparing for a fight here. You're preparing for having to stick to what you believe in. And that despair here feels like it's kind of in anticipation, but since it's that epiphany, is like, you know what? Life's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be that hard anyway, but sometimes there's challenges in life, and the honorable thing to do is push through them, because there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, this is how you would interpret that energy when your mind is, or like your being is so set on this 10 of Pentacles, on like doing the right thing for the right reasons, right? And then a 5 of Cups in the middle is probably like, that is you accepting that energy, accepting having to go through this, right? Having to stand up for your ideas, having to settle that debt in a sense. Probably that's a debt that is owed to you, and you're like, you know, not getting it back anyway. I have to confront them though, you know, that kind of deal where you're like, I'm probably not going to get it back, but I'm not going to let it slide either. I have to go through that confrontation, even if I don't like it. Could be it, right? But you're preparing for something that's going to be very stressful. Funny thing is that you're like already enduring that. I mean, you got a 4 of Cups, a 5 of Cups, and a 6 of Cups in the reading. Like you're clearing out the middle tones. No shit, for real, for real. That is very interesting. That is very interesting, right? Like it's never gonna be like that 4 of Cups again. You rather that is the difference between the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups, right? The 4 of Cups is like, yeah, it's not sitting right with me, but whatever, you know. And the 5 of Cups is downright sad. It's like, shit, why did this have to go? Or it's shitty that it's had to go, but it had to go. You know, there can be acceptance in there. It is the change, right? But it's never going to be like this again, right? That is like looking back into the emotions of the past. It's never going to be half-ass. It's either on or off. And if off means I have to go through this pain, then that's the honorable thing to do. And that's what you're going to do. It's like you're hanging in there, right? Holding on to your shit. Don't see you getting aggressive. It's going to be like a mental fight, right? There is passion in there. I'm kind of glad that I only see water. That 10 of Wands is a little much, but it's a lot of fire. I mean, 10 of Wands here in the spot of the 5. But other than that, I don't get a fiery sense about this. Like the fiery impulse is like, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to pull through this. This too shall pass. I know what I'm doing it for. To be true to myself, to be true to what I believe in, and to not put up with anything that is not aligned with who I am. And that is a very, very honorable way of being. That is a wise way of being. It's probably going to project a smart person or like a smart-ish person in your in your reality that is going to put this to the test, probably in anticipation towards this person. You're building up your defenses because you know it's coming. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to get stuck into a narrative I know where this is the case. Doesn't have to be. Sure is if you're anticipating conflict, anticipating your mindset to be challenged, right? Also because you want to prove to yourself that you're not going to fall into this rat trap again here of this 4 of Cups, then you're going to project a test in your reality. The universe sending you someone that is putting your mindset to the test. You're a little over-prepared for this. But the cool thing is that you know after going through this, there's going to be that new beginning. There's going to be a totally new beginning for you. You kind of feel that it is closing out a chapter or like dealing with a way you've been taken advantage of in the past, right? And like this is going to show you a lot about this, making you more decisive about this. And that's a good thing, right? Like you rather take a 5 of Cups than ever going back to this half-ass 4 of Cups energy again that this 6 of Cups nostalgia card is pointing towards. That is a very beautiful insight. And of course, this is going to make you build your defenses to whoever's trying to attack that. That is a new, well, like an old sense of self regained, fortified, and very honorable, has a good intention. So Nothing to say about that, but you're well prepared for whatever is happening. You're well prepared. You're going to keep your calm, even if you're boiling inside. That can be like, you can be boiling inside. Yes, of course, right? But you always remember what you're doing it for. It's like doing it to do the right thing. You're not going to fall back into being taken advantage of, right? And that is the thing that you're trying to balance. And you're wise. You're very well prepared for this, and it's gonna feel good. Doing the right thing feels good. Never forget that. Even if there's like dealing with pain, dealing with emotionality, right? And like the emotions other people project onto your experience, of course, right? Also, that's in there, right? It's like someone that is constantly unhappy is going to make you feel unhappy for not being able to make them feel happy. You know, that kind of stuff. Like it's always you and the other people in your life projecting that, like connecting over that kind of energy. So that's why roles can be reversed. Some say, I say it's always both. Same game, like a different angle. And you are in a beautiful experience because, well, you feel like it's doing the right thing, and the more you remind yourself of that you're doing the right thing for the right reasons, um, the better it's going to feel. And there is light at the end of this tunnel. So Virgo, if that resonated with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe. Check out the website daywalker-bali.com and daywalker-bali.shop. Newsletter registrations are open now for the online shop that I'm building. It's going to take a while, but sign up so I can tell you when it's ready, when it's live. And thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. Enjoy this time. It's going to be a tough one, but you're going to make it and you're going to be so freaking proud of yourself. Thank you. I love you.